Hey guys, welcome back to another Outpost review. What I've got to do now is I've got my gable ends done. I've got all of the framing done on the exterior walls on this. Well, of course I've only got one floor, our main floor. But I've still got some studs like right here that I need to go in and put in underneath the windows in some spots. Others don't need them. And then I've decided against putting headers in here, and the reason I say that is because the beams are actually acting like a header. Normally the header is to take the weight off of the window, plus it gives you something to nail to in case the roof is bearing down. But since I've got my tenons and my mortise and I've got the angle iron in the joints, and then I've got these studs right here underneath that beam, and then I've got the little stud wall underneath for my rock underneath that goes down to the concrete. I'm really not going to need, now I don't mind to overbuild if I've got the material, but I'd have to cut up the 2x6s, and I've been using a lot of 2x4s. So I've decided against it because I really don't need it. So what you'll see me doing next is taking some 2x4s, going across through here, something to mount the window to and to nail the sheetrock that I'm going to use on the upper portion. But that's what's coming next, and then after that, I think that the next thing is going to be the radiant barrier. I'm going to go out on the outside and tack that on, and then I will put my horizontal 2x4s on the outside of that. Now I'm going to have 50, because I've got to have 5 on each wall horizontally to screw my siding to. But that radiant barrier is not supposed to touch any solid surface. So I'm going to tack it on here. The only surface that it'll be touching will be each horizontal piece that goes across. So there will be a lot of it left that will return the radiant heat, because when I put the insulation in here, you know how insulation is, it's not exactly a solid surface, so I don't think that's going to affect it any, but that will give me an R value on top of that. And then I will put the siding, screw it to the 2x4s on the outside. Now, I have had some people say something about the plastic. From what I gather, the plastic has to be on the inside. That way it will allow everything that's in the wall to dry, okay? If you put it on the outside and the inside of the wall gets wet, it has no way to basically dry. So it would be on the outside of the wall underneath the siding. So I'm not so sure that that would be a good idea, and I can't let it lay up against the radiant barrier, because I think that that would stop it from doing what it needs to do. So the radiant barrier is a wrap, because they have different types. I'm going to get the house wrap that is actually breathable. In the event that the wall did get some moisture in it, it would allow it to breathe and hopefully dry out. So the plastic will come down. Now I could take the plastic, cut it in each section, bring it on the inside and tack it up, but I would have to do that after the insulation's put on. So not quite sure what I'll do with the plastic, but when I get ready to start doing the outside, what I'll do is probably do a section at a time. That way I've still got the plastic up protecting the OSB here on the inside. I did get a little snow blowing in, because all this snow that we had, it kind of blew sideways. So I did get a little bit on that end. I didn't get any on this end, but just about this much section of the floor. So good thing it wasn't blowing sideways, totally sideways. But anyway, I could, like I said, do one section at a time, cut the plastic out, put the radiant barrier on, put my 2x4s on, and then do the siding. And I could do each one a section at a time. That way I've still got the inside protected. You know, it's not too bad up here, even though the gable ends have been open. You know, we've had some freak weather here down in the 20s. When I crank the stove up and I kind of get the coals, a bed of coals in there, and it's really cranking throughout the day when it warms up, you know, it's actually quite comfortable. I actually had to shed my jacket, but anytime I get cold or anything like that, which I haven't, you know, really, I just go over there to the fire and kind of warm up a little bit and then get right back to it. What? 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 Huh? What? He always has to get my attention. Don't you? Huh? Don't you? Where's the ball? 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 Where is it? Where's the ball? Huh? Ball? Let's go get the ball. Ball? Ball? Huh? Ball? Ready? Good boy. Good boy. All right, let go so I can throw it again. Let go. Let go. Let go. Ready? Ready? Something to stop there, right? Good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. Oh, ball. Got it. I got it. Ready? Go get it. Good boy. Good boy. Now, I didn't do this on purpose, but kind of where you see this OSB line here, I kind of thought about, you know, the layout on these bedrooms. And my thought was, what I'll do is I'll go 3 foot out, which right here is the corner studs for a wall. So this will come all the way out. It's basically 12.5 feet long. So it'll go all the way to the wall, the other bedroom wall going this way. The other one's the same way. I've got a stud right here, stud wall. It's going to come out and come down to here as well. So I thought, well, I'll just put a wall down the middle and basically have a 3 foot closet with a couple of big doors. That way you can just walk up, slide the doors, reach in, grab your clothes. Then I thought, well, you know, if you kind of get in the corner, I'd have to have actually 2 because it would be so long, right? So I thought there's got to be a better way. So then I decided to put the wall this way. So actually, for example, this wall will be right about where my toes are at. So I'm going to separate it this way. I'll put one door right here, just an opening door, type that opens, and I'll actually have a walk-in closet up to this point right here. And I can have clothes hanging on both sides, and I can put stuff underneath the clothes and up on top of the shelves that I'll build in there. This one over here, the door will open up this way and walk in, and the back section would be part of this bedroom. So it's kind of like that, right? That way I can get away with just one small door, closet door, on each room, and be able to have access walking in, and I don't have to try to crawl under clothes to get to the ends of the closet. So I think that's a much better layout. But anyway, I'm primarily just going to have to build one wall, solid wall here. I have to frame that up. One wall here, one wall here. So that's basically 3 or 4 if you count it per bedroom. And then a short one right in the middle right here. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not actually going to have any ceiling in the bedroom because the wall will go all the way up to the top beam, and I don't think anybody's going to be crawling over to try to look in or anything. So I'll probably have, like I said before, I'm not really sure if I'm going to mount 3 ceiling fans, one in each section, or hang them from the purlins, which I may do. That would be 5, basically. I will put a false ceiling in the bathroom just for, you know, privacy, sound, smell, things like that. So, but yeah, that's, I will put, like I said, a ceiling in that. But these you know, the wall will go up to here, and then I've got 7 inches above that. You know, I don't really see any reason to have, because one of these is just primarily going to be a guest bedroom in the event that somebody comes over, like the kids, you know, or something like that. Because originally I was only going to have 1 bedroom. What are you doing? Are you digging out paper bags? Jennifer gave him this big stuffed monkey. You should see, he's stout. He can pick that thing up and take off and run with it and not trip one bit. And he loves that thing, you know, he'll jerk it around. But anyway, so yeah, I just got a few walls down here to build because mainly the whole cabin is going to be open. So let me go over here and talk to you about the kitchen and the bathroom area. Okay, this area right here, these 2 corner studs are the corners for this side of the wall here and this side of the wall. Anyway, it will come out all the way up to underneath this beam right here, and then the wall go across. There'll be a short section in here for a washer and a dryer, and then the rest of this is going to be bathroom. I'll probably put the door down here at this end because I've got another door going exiting out to a porch that I'm going to build at a later point. That way I can actually put my desk right here and have the computer and have it facing a wall. So I came out here earlier today. I happened to walk around the corner here to get something, and I discovered that which had fallen on the shed that covers the sawmill. There's still some debris hanging right there, so it just missed the roof. Actually, it didn't hurt any of the tin, but just missed the roof. So this tree is not big, but it certainly was tall. So yeah, I'm going to have some massive cleanup around here to do when all the snow melts, and I have opportunity to do that. But I'll cut this up and I'll use it on the chicken house somehow. You can see up there at the outdoor kitchen how much snow is on the top of that roof. Yeah, there's snow everywhere. Today it melted out of all of these trees, but you can kind of see how much we had. The little outdoor toilet out there, it is melting off of that pretty good. All of the trees behind it were all hanging full of snow, but thank goodness the sun came out and melted it all off today. But like I say, I'm going to have a massive cleanup with all the trees that are broken down and everything, all the damage that was done. I had to cut my way up here the other day. I had to walk up and get my chainsaw just to cut my way in, and then I went up, did the same thing on my neighbor's driveway, checked on him, make sure he was okay, and then did the same thing at my sister's driveway, went up and checked on her. So nobody could get their chainsaw started but me. You got to keep them in operating order, or when you need them, you know, they'll let you down. So but anyway, yeah, got a lot of cleanup to do. See a lot of these trees that are bent over? Even right here close. See that tree that's bent over? There's trees like that everywhere that I'm going to have to clean up because that's not going to straighten back up. So I kind of feel fortunate that we cut, I think, what was it, 8 of those yellow pines. I still got this one, and I've got one over there. That one's actually leaning that way. It wouldn't fall on the kitchen. But with the weight of this snow and all the trees that we've had knocked down, I feel fortunate that we were able to get those things down when we did, because I have a feeling that one of them would have landed on the kitchen. That's the reason that I decided to take them out, because there was 3 of them that were actually leaning in this direction. So I'm really happy that we went ahead and did that, because I could have come up here and found one laying on top of the kitchen, which would have broke my heart, because then we would have had to start all over again. But I'm thankful that we did that, and that didn't happen. And we've got all those logs stacked up and ready to mill up for the chicken house that's going to go right up here. So I'm excited about getting started on that, hopefully within the next month, 3 to 4 weeks, because I'm going to be working on siding that cabin and getting that thing closed in. So once I get that done, then I'll start on that, and I'll kind of flip-flop back and forth, work a little on it during the day, work a little on the cabin during the day, or maybe alternate days. I'm not really sure, but you know, we've only got we'll start having spring here basically in March, so we've only got January, February to go, and I'll be getting some chickens. I don't really want to get them in the dead of the winter, but hopefully I can get that chicken house done where I can get some chickens and start raising them in the spring and have some eggs and things like that. And the other thing that I want to do before spring gets here, so that before planting season, is get those other raised beds put in. So getting that cabin closed in, getting the raised beds put in, and getting a start on that chicken house are my main goals within the next couple 2 to 3 months. So a lot of work building a homestead, and but it's a lot of fun too. So hope you guys are enjoying this process as much as I am, and filming it for you. That's my main goal, was to film it so that people could enjoy the process with me. You know, with the fact that the power goes out here a whole lot, that's even more reason to go solar. I mentioned that in the Outpost video, but you know, I had the engineer come up here and he quoted me like $8,700 to run it in overhead, and it would even be more expensive to go underground. But it goes out here quite frequently. My sister was without power, well, she's been without power for like 3 days now, solid. And I don't know that they'll even get it turned on tomorrow. But it was just out about 4 weeks ago. It was out for, I think, a 24-hour period. And I experienced that living out here in that other cabin, because the route comes through the mountains so far that you know, it's hard to keep that whole route trimmed, especially all over the whole county here in the mountains, and trees. And you know, the trees that I actually seen down that were throughout the county, even coming out here, when I came out here yesterday, I lacked about this much between the top of the cab going underneath the power line where the tree was laying on it and had it bowed down to the ground. I pulled up real close and I looked, and I had about this much room, and I was able to get under it. I kind of had to hug the ditch line to get around it, and it had been like that a couple of days. The power company was out, but you know, they can only do so much. But that's one reason to go have an alternative source of power. And if they hadn't had that propane, they would have been really cold, because they sit for a whole day before they even realized that they remembered that they had it out in the garage. But they sit up there with blankets around them, and then they remembered that and went out and got it. And then yesterday I took them to get some more propane. But yeah, it's kind of crazy living out in the boonies sometimes. You know, you have situations. I remember one time in 1993 we had a 2-foot snow, well, 23 inches, but we were without power here for 7 days. The trees had fallen. I think the 4th day the National Guard came in and started cutting trees out to clear the routes throughout the county, and they got the road clear where we could get out. I think the day before that I had taken the tractor and actually went out to one of the little stores. I had to drive about 4 miles through the mountains to get to a little store to get some milk and some bread, but we had melted snow for coffee. I had a wood stove in the other cabin that I built. We actually cooked on that and made bread and beans and things like that, and stayed warm, so it was a good thing that we had the wood stove. So you run into situations like that when you live out in the boonies like this, but you know, nothing compares to it actually. As long as you prepare and you're ready, the lifestyle of living out here where it's peace and quiet, and solitude, you know, and animals, and it's just something about being out here in nature that calms your spirit, and it just, you know, makes you feel good. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. So yep, I'm going to check into and do some more research on solar and possibly, you know, wind generated power and things like that. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and shut this reviewed video down here, guys. I appreciate you stopping by and tuning in. I know that this is a little different than normal, but I wanted to go over the kind of the little layout of the cabin. I tried to keep everything minimal so I didn't have a whole lot to do as far as framing and building, and it still be functional. Originally it wasn't going to be that big, but I decided to go ahead and leave it like that once we put it up, because I was going to, you know, kind of make a garage on this end. But I think what I'll do is at some point I may move this tiny home down lower down the mountain, and I may go ahead and build a single garage right here, or I may put it in the back of the sawmill and kind of make a turnaround road. I don't really know yet. I'm kind of, you know, doing things as I go, having a good time. But like I said, anyway, appreciate you guys stopping by. My son, my daughter, and I, we thank you for all your support. Hope everyone has a great afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you back up at the Outpost again next time.